Okay, so command blocks can be a bit confusing sometimes, and if you've got a really cool idea on a mini game that you could build for your friends, but you don't quite know how to use command blocks, this is the video for you, because in today's video we will be exploring the basics of command blocks in this setup right behind me. So the first thing that you need to know is how to give yourself a command block, and you do this by typing this command into the chat here. So you type /give command underscore block, and this will give you this block. And there are three variants of this block: the command block, the repeating command block, and the chain command block. And you can ask them individually, or you could change them in the place like this. Now you can do different. Now firstly we need to know how to power them. And the way we power them is like this. So they can be powered directly. For example, they could be done like that, or they can be through a block where it hits this block and it does to the side as well. So once I hit this button, this block will be activated, but you could put it there. The only reason I didn't want to put them there is because that would also put this one on. As you can see, if I click that, it powers that, hits this, and then it does what I've asked it to do, which we'll get onto in a second. Now the difference between the normal command block and the repeating command block is this: when this is powered, it does the action once. When this is powered, it does it for as long as it's powered. So since this is a button, it will do it for as long as the pulse of the button is. But as you can see, once I click this, one glow squid falls into the void where they belong, and then if I click this one, a ton of them go. And we can change if this was now obviously since this is a button, it can do it like this. But if I changed it to a redstone block where the thing is permanent, there's just a permanent flow of glow squid, as you can see, until I take it off. So now that you know the difference between these two command blocks, now you need to know what the chain command block does. So what the chain command block does is you power a command block, and in the direction that this thing points, it goes straight into the next one, which goes straight into the next one. And if you carry on, they could all go like this. As you can see, if that thing is pointing into the next one, it can go forward. So you can do it for as long as you like. Now obviously once this is powered, it will do all three at the same time, but so as you can see now, and I'll explore how to do these different commands further on in the video, but now we're just learning the basics of how command blocks work. Okay, so as you can see, when you click this, it does what I tell it to do. So this says subscribe, this says to, and this says EGM Awesome. Now another thing that we do need to learn is how to differentiate the @, so there are 5 different @ that you can put after doing a command. So the first one is @P, which is the nearest player. So if you type this after a command, the nearest player to that command block will get the action. This is @S, or self, which doesn't work with command blocks, it only works in the chats. @A means all the players that are currently in the game. @E is all entities, which includes mobs and minecats and stuff like that. And then @R, which is a random player. So keep this in mind. We're going to explore the first command on this list, /give. So what you would put into a command block is /give @ whichever @ you'd like. If you'd like it to be a random player, you'd put @R. If it wants to be the closest player, @P. And you'd then write the item. So if the item name is just one word, then you just write it like that. But if it's 2 words, you need to write the first word, then an underscore, and then the second word, or it won't work. So let's see an example. This will give me a diamond pickaxe because I've told it to say /give at the nearest person a diamond underscore pickaxe, like this. As you can see, it's a really simple command that will give a player an item. And using this item, we can mine through to the next area, which is /say, which is great for map making. So a really simple way to use /say is just /say and say what it needs to say, like I did here, where the /say subscribe, and then you click it and then it does it like that. So, but there is another way that you can make it even better. You can rename a command block something. For example, I've named this one a very smart person, and you do this by putting a command block in an anvil and renaming it. So as you can see, and it does this by saying /say, the exact same thing, /say, and then type your message. But then instead of just leaving it at that, you can name the command block in an anvil, which is great. The next thing is a double one that kind of goes with each other. These are atmosphere commands, /timeset and /weather. So this obviously controls the time of the day, and this controls the weather. And you can use chain command blocks here to make like things happen after each other. For example, if I click this, so just clicking one button made 3 different commands happen because of the chain command block. Firstly, it set the time to midnight. It made the weather a thunderstorm, and it also said insert dramatic line that you would like. So obviously you would put whatever you'd like the same thing to say. So and obviously this is a named thing. And then obviously to reset it, you've got this kind of setup where instead of using a chain command block here, I just wanted to showcase how you could use normal command blocks, or by passing signals through blocks. If you click this one, it just puts it back to normal. So as you can see, this one sets day, and this puts the weather clear. And next we're going to explore probably the most beneficial command for beginners, /tp. It's /tp at then you put at whatever you'd like, so at p the nearest player, at a at everybody, and then the coordinates that you want to teleport them to. So we can see this here, where it will say /tp at p, the closest player, to the coordinates that I wrote down there. Before I activate this command block, I'm going to show you this way to activate the command block. So if this could happen inside some sort of escape room you might be designing, or some sort of like something like that, I don't know, where you've got an item frame like this. So the way this works is an item frame with something in it will always give a redstone signal, and then you can play around with it. For example, boom, 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 and then it starts again. So as you can see, it changes different signal strengths. And then when you go to the third one, it teleports you, because obviously on the third thing it would activate the command block. So it's kind of strange, you'd have to play around with it, and I can make an additional video about powering stuff like that if you like. Anyway, so doing that has teleported me to the inside of my Empire State Building from this video, that if you'd like to go and watch after this one, then I mean, please do. But before you go and do that, let's carry on with this video. Next, another really good thing is to do /fill. Now this one's a bit more complex, where you fill blocks in. So that you'd put /fill, and then you need 2 sets of coordinates. So you'd put, say now I want to get rid of this wall, you'd put /fill the coordinates of this block, which is 16446 minus 164, and then the coordinates of the other corner here. So you'd put the coordinates of this block, which is 160, 6343 and minus 164. But by doing this, this is another way of powering a command block, is by doing this with an observer, which I'll get to in a second. But anyway, the way you do a fill command is by putting the coordinates of one corner and the coordinates of another corner, and then putting air after it. So as you can see, if I delete this observer, delete that block, I fall down, which is and I've also been trapped back out, which I'll explain how to do in a second. So what happens here is an observer detects any changes that happen to a block. I've broken it. Oh no. Okay. Please work. Yeah. Okay, it's worked now. The observer detects any changes that happen to the block in front of it. So when you break this block, it observes, gives a power into this, which will /fill the coordinates of this place, the coordinates of this block, into air, which will, as you can see, get rid of it. And then, as you can see there. And then this one here is because if you're making a map, you don't want it to just go forever. Now you can do, then after that, it goes straight into another thing that will change into this one, which will do the exact same coordinates, but with sandstone to replace it back to normal. And then this one is another thing that you can do with /give a water bucket, because, I don't know, maybe you want to go... you want a water bucket so that you can do your greatest MLG clutches of all time. Oh, I put carpets down. Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. Oh yeah. Let's fix this. Okay, so back up here, as you can see, so this is another observer thing that you can do, which will always give water buckets to the player with the give commands that we learned earlier. And then this, as we can see, makes the floor go and you fall down into the next place, where we've got the final thing that I'm going to be showing you today, /summon. What this does is /summons a mob anywhere. So as you can see here, if I click this button, a camel will spawn here, and you can encase it with barrier blocks, which you can get by typing /give @s command barrier in this chat. So as you can see, all you need to do is really simple, /summon camel or whatever mob you'd like, and then put the coordinates that you'd like it to be summoned at. So as you can see, camels. Now let me okay, I'm very sorry about that, camels, but you needed to go for a second. But you can take this to the next level, because you can also name the camel by doing this. /summon camel called Mr. Camel Face at the coordinates. Now, I'm pretty sure that this command is quite different between versions, because I'm playing on Bedrock Edition, which changes some of the commands. So if this doesn't work in your version, please just go and check it up online, because this might not work. But as you can see, if I do this, we get a camel called Mr. Camel Face. So now that I've done all that, I've designed a boss fight which has very intricate redstone. Now, it's not perfect because I am not the best redstoner, but I've tried to make a cool game here, which I do need to reset there. So using all the commands we've learned today, let's start the boss fight. Okay, so Mr. Scary Pants said, "Hello stupid person, you have to die, ha ha ha, here are my minions." So firstly we need to kill the minions, which done by using the summon command. Oh my god, I'm actually gonna die. Oh god. Oh, I'm in full diamond armor, I'm dying to zombies. Okay, this is quite embarrassing because I'm talking rubbish. Okay, so now that I've killed all the zombies, I've added a little timer so that I can talk about stuff. So, yeah, now, what happened there was it summoned zombies, or husks, at these coordinates. Now, after I've killed it, so, before all that, sorry, it did, summoned a Vindicator called Mr. Scary Pants, and did the /say command. So, now that we've done those commands, we're in, it was obviously also /give by giving me the items, and /teleport, which teleported me into this room. So, now that we've done that, let's get into the next part of the boss fight, which will happen in a second after this timer is over. Oh, okay. So now we've got tons of minions, which we need to kill. And now that we've killed these minions, which were also done, now next you can see that we've also added this /fill to fill these to make the arena smaller. So obviously /fill to make the arena smaller, and /summon again to summon pillagers. And now there's another final timer until the last boss fight. Sorry, there's a slight glitch in the redstone, so I had to go and fix it. But now this boss fight, this final part of the boss fight should work in a second. And it's very hard, by the way. I'm probably gonna die. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so as you can see, that part of the arena has moved on, and in a second, he has been let out his cage, and I've died immediately. Okay, yeah, I don't know why that. Oh, I've spawned in a very dark place. Yeah, I don't know why I made that part really hard, but let's see if we can beat it. Okay, now that I'm back in here, Phil has filled in the this part with air, and it's also filled this barrier blocks part with air, so that now he's out of his cage. Now there's also a clear command to get rid of my sword. Now let's see if we can beat him in a fight. No, okay, so I'm going to do a really quick run through on the commands here. So because this took me a long time to make, because I'm not the most experienced command block maker. Remember, this is a thing for beginners. So it starts obviously when you click the button here, goes down this here into this command block. Now it splits into two different signals here, so this teleports the player to the place. These gives the player survival difficulty, and then of course gives all the diamond stuff that they need. Now this one goes down into creating the netherite sword, then it goes down into this one which summons the Vindicator, what's named Mr. Scary Pants. Then it comes around, then there's two different signals here again. This one, there are three different signals, sorry. So the first one goes into what Mr. Scary Pants is saying. As you can see here, we all know how to do that by now. Then the second one goes through this long line of repeaters, which makes a little timer until it summons two sets of husks through the repeating command block. Now what I've done here is to use an observer to see when this is powered. When this is powered, it will send it to here, which of course, as you can see, has summoned a ton of husks in here. And yeah, eventually they will fall off. As you can see, the Vindicator's literally pushing them off on purpose, it seems. But yeah, so obviously the reason I'm using an observer here instead of just running that straight in is because an observer powers a block for less time than a repeater does, meaning there would be less husks. And because, yeah, it was hard to do it when there were tons of husks. Now the final signal goes down here, so then this is immediately powered, shooting an arrow onto this button, which is obviously not very necessary here, but this is how to create the 1 minute timer that we see between the husk spawning and the next part of the boss fight. So I've done this just so obviously that I could have time to talk, but you wouldn't need a long time like this. But what happens is it shoots an arrow for a minute on the button, then when the thing is unpowered, the block will have been pushed to here, making this part. Now this is just some redstone things to separate a redstone block's pulse, which is permanent, into just a pulse, obviously. So we can see that here. Then it goes down into this part, which is now after two layers here, the third layer is the second part of the boss fight, and the third part as well. So here you got Mr. Scary Pants had dodged this, then it goes these two set the two sides into air so that the battlefield is smaller. It then goes into this area where when the observer sees this powered, it will summon the pillagers at those coordinates, repeated obviously, so there's a few of them. And then it goes through this massive redstone repeater loop thingy, not loop, sorry, timer. So there's a bit of time between the pillagers and the final part of the battle. It then goes down into, after this up here, it just makes this thing longer because I didn't have much space. Then into this side and here, which says no, fight me instead. And then finally it goes down to the bottom where oh, hello Mr. Pillager, you can go away for now. There's this thing that obviously clears the inventory. There's this one that this one that fills the back to air, and then this one that finally fills the Vindicator into air, this thing, the barrier blocks here that was keeping him inside. And then that's it all. Now I obviously rushed rush through that final part really quickly just because it's running out of time for this video, but that was one example on how you could use the tons of new skills that you learned today. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a lot about command blocks so you can make your own command block creations. Now, of course, these are just the basics of command blocks, and I am definitely not qualified to talk about the proper command block creations that you can make. But if you do want to see a part 2 of the basics, because there's definitely more that you can learn, please drop a like down below and comment if you'd like to see it. Goodbye.